Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? This is Joseph Conlon here tonight with your AEW Dynamite review on Wednesday, January 27th, 2020. Big bounce back tonight by AEW, huh? That was a great show in my opinion. I was about to say really good, but there were some great matches tonight. We got a lot of great stuff. We got a lot to look forward to. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Wednesday nights are the absolute best night of professional wrestling, and it's not even close. Last week was a big disappointment. I'm going to admit, last week's show was a big disappointment in my opinion, and I did not like the show last week. We did not cover the show on the channel last week due to personal reasons, but I did not like that show last week at all. Tonight's show was much, much better. We had some great matches, like I said in the beginning, so we're going to talk about it all here tonight on the Big Fight Field channel. Thank you all for joining me as always here on the channel. If you have not already, you can go check out my Monday Night Raw review that I posted on Monday night. That is close to 100 views. I believe that video was at like 91 views last time I saw. So if you guys would go check that out, leave a like and comment in the video, I would appreciate that. And you can go check out my tribute to Kobe Bryant yesterday as well, which is also available on the channel. Let's dive right into it. I don't want to waste any time. We started off this show hot. We started off the show with Eddie Kingston going one-on-one with Lance Archer. Commentary has said before, these two have been going at it since All Out, when Lance eliminated Eddie Kingston, but he really didn't eliminate him because Eddie Kingston never went over the top rope. And then they continued into the anniversary show, and then this continued after Full Gear, and Lance Archer kind of tied himself into the feud with Pac and Eddie Kingston. So this was bound to happen. It happened tonight. Seems like Lance Archer's a babyface, which I don't mind. They got a lot of big guys on that roster that are heels. So Lance Archer being a babyface with Jake Roberts and feuding with Eddie Kingston is something I don't have a problem with at all. So I just want to get that out of the way. It seems like Lance Archer has turned babyface while feuding with Eddie Kingston in the middle of the feud. So I'm totally fine with that. That's cool with me. This match was solid. This was a pretty solid match to open up the show. You got a lot of outside fighting. Both Butcher and Blade and the Bunny were out of ringside for Eddie Kingston, and Jake the Snake Roberts was sent to the back by Lance Archer. So this was Eddie Kingston versus Lance Archer, one-on-one. Pretty solid match, I thought. This was the match I was most looking forward to on the show. If you guys don't watch, AEW does their Road to Dynamite on their YouTube channel and all that stuff. If you guys don't watch that, I would highly recommend doing that. Because here's another compliment I'm going to give before I talk about the match. Like, them uploading 3-minute promos, 3-minute video packages about matches that are coming up during the week. It's very smart because it gets people invested in how this match became official and stuff like that, and the backstory behind the match. So I love that AEW does their Road to Dynamites every single week. Like this one, like they made Eddie Kingston versus Lance Archer feel like a big match by giving it a 3-minute video package on YouTube. Like I love it, and I hope they keep doing it every single week because it makes people look forward to matches that are happening on Dynamite. So Lance Archer and Eddie Kingston. The first half was dominated by Lance Archer. This match had no commercial breaks, as the first match always has no commercial breaks on AEW. Slow at pace, which was fine. You want to tell a story. They tell the story of Lance Archer, wanting to beat up Eddie Kingston, and that's what he did. And then he went for Everybody Dies, and then Eddie Kingston reversed it into a DDT. Archer kicked out at 2. Archer got the claw, where he puts his hand on the opponent's head and smashed it to the ground. He started doing that to Eddie Kingston, and then the Butcher and the Blade came out dragging Jake the Snake Roberts, which distracted Lance Archer. The referee was holding back Lance Archer. You saw Allie running in the back, giving Eddie Kingston brass knucks. Eddie Kingston did his back fist to Lance Archer with brass knucks on his hand, and Eddie Kingston beat Lance Archer clean. Not really clean, but he pinned him 1, 2, 3. And you know what? I thought Lance was going to win this match because I thought he needed to win more than Eddie Kingston. But honestly, I'm fine with Eddie Kingston winning the match. It continues the feud because Eddie Kingston cheated on Lance Archer. Lance Archer is going to want to beat him up even more now, and it will drag Eddie Kingston and Lance Archer probably to a match at Revolution. I'm going to guess it's not going to be a singles match. I'm guessing they'll have like a no DQ stipulation or whatever, and that'll be the big blow-off match to this feud, and Lance Archer gets the win. And I think it's smart, because if Lance Archer got the win tonight, then the feud's over. Like, there's nothing left in the Eddie Kingston and Lance Archer feud. But now, Lance Archer takes this loss because Eddie Kingston cheated on him. They still continue their feud. They have their big blow-off at Revolution, which I'm guessing is going to happen. And Lance Archer gets his big win on pay-per-view. So I'm cool with everything that happened here. Solid match. Eddie Kingston gets the victory over Lance Archer with distractions. And then we got a short promo by Jon Moxley. He's out in the woods somewhere. He's confused by the Young Bucks and the Good Brothers, if they're on the same page with Kenny or not. But all he knows is next week he's got Pac. He's got Rey Fenix on his side, and they're going into Beach Break, and they're going to beat the shit out of Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. Simple promo, just to get over the match next week, and that is their main event match for Beach Break. Omega and the Good Brothers against Moxley, Pac, and Rey Fenix. We'll talk about that more in the main event. We then got Chris Jericho and MJF against the Varsity Blondes, Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. Decent match. Varsity Blondes, they look better every time. That they're on Dynamite and they get a chance to show what they can do. They're starting to grow on me a little bit. They're kind of like Top Flight and the Acclaimed, these young, up-and-coming tag teams in AEW that are going to carry them, throughout the years, which, it's great. But this kind of felt like more of a showcase match for Jericho and MJF since they won the Inner Circle Tag Team Challenge last week. It's a decent match, but you got Garrison and MJF going at each other early. Then you got Pillman and Chris Jericho. They're going at each other. I wouldn't be shocked if we see a singles match between them soon in AEW. I would actually love to see a singles match between Chris Jericho and Brian Pillman Jr. now that I'm thinking about it. And the finish was great. The finish of this match was great. You had Pillman on the top rope going for a move, and Chris Jericho absolutely nails him with a Judas effect. And then last week, Chris Jericho botched a line salt, and he got all this criticism from people online. Oh, he should stop using it. Oh, he's getting, he's getting rusty in the ring. He needs to retire. He was getting all this criticism. Meanwhile, you see a guy on WWE botch, and these people say absolutely nothing, and they keep their mouth shut. It just proves the frauds that these people really are on social media. But Chris Jericho hits the line salt on Brian Pillman, perfect line salt. And while Aubrey Edwards is counting, Chris Jericho smiles at the camera, at people watching home. It was funny as hell, and it was great. So, Chris Jericho shutting up the haters that he got last week and getting the win for himself and MJF over the Varsity Blondes. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes came out next to respond to Shaq because earlier on the AEW Awards show, Shaq made a statement to Cody. He was calling him a punk. He's calling him a little girl with the blonde hair. And to fight him. He wanted to fight Cody and said, how about we fight in March? So Cody had a promo on Shaq, and he would say that it would be himself and Brandy against Jade and Shaq at Revolution. But obviously with that, Brandy being pregnant, can't wrestle. We don't know what's going to happen. And then he gives it to Arn Anderson. And Arn Anderson cuts one hell of a promo talking about 1985 when Cody Rhodes was born. June 29th, 1985, I think was the exact date. And he's going to be a father. It's going to be the most important thing of his life. One of his biggest accomplishments, becoming a father. He's got a lot of stuff in the back. And Arn Anderson talks about this woman in the locker room who has fire and intensity, and she's young, and he calls her out, and it's Red Velvet. So Red Velvet comes out, and this is the first time I've ever heard Red Velvet cut a promo, okay? I don't know if she's cut a promo on Dark before, but I don't watch Dark a lot. So this is the first promo I see her cut. I was very impressed. I'm not going to lie, I was very impressed by Red Velvet. She said she was tired of Jade, attacking being disrespectful to Cody and, attacking Brandy and injuring her arm and doing all this stuff to the Rhodes. So she wants to fight Jade. And she hands the mic back to Arn. And it seems like we are getting a mixed tag team match at Revolution between Cody Rhodes and Red Velvet against Jade Cargill and Shaquille O'Neal. Now, with Brandy being pregnant and her going out, I thought we were going to get Cody Rhodes against Shaquille O'Neal at Revolution straight up one-on-one. I think the mixed tag is better than a one-on-one match because Shaquille O'Neal has no experience. He's got no experience whatsoever. Never wrestled in a match before. So this mixed tag giving Red Velvet a big spot on pay-per-view by having her team up with Cody Rhodes, one of the top guys in the company. That tells you, hey, AEW is very high on they are very high on Red Velvet, and they think highly of her. So I think this is a much better solution than doing a one-on-one match between Cody Rhodes and Shaquille O'Neal, because I want to give the storyline a chance, and I'm going to give the storyline a chance. But if you did a one-on-one match between Cody Rhodes and Shaquille O'Neal, that was not going to end well. I don't think that would have ended well. So doing the mixed tag is a lot better. It gets Red Velvet some spotlight. It gets Jade a big match. I'm guessing that's going to be her first match. Or these two, Red Velvet and Jade Cargill, have a match on Dynamite before all of this happens at Revolution. So I like it. I'm honestly cool with it. And I thought this was a really good promo, and this was overall a really good segment. Then we saw Adam Hangman Page against Ryan Nemeth, the brother of Dolph Ziggler. And what I said earlier, I like when AEW does their Road 2 segments every week. They told you this week about who Ryan Nemeth was, him not making it in WWE, WWE releasing him and thinking he's not good enough, and other promotions not giving him a chance. They literally told you who this guy was and his backstory. So overall, for his first match on Dynamite, he looked pretty solid. He looked pretty solid in there with Hangman Page, and that tells you about a lot about the guy, that, you know, he can go. Like his brother Dolph, Dolph's a very good wrestler. The problem with Dolph is he's been booked like a loser for so many years, and this guy looked pretty good tonight. So I want to see more of him on Dynamite, but the bigger story came after the match. Matt Hardy was out there during the match, and he spoke to Hangman Page, and he said, I'm not giving you an offer, I'm not telling you to join me or anything, but I like you, and I respect the hell out of you. You're an incredible athlete. It was tough to watch you get kicked out of the Elite by Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, and quite frankly, it was disrespectful. And now you're getting asked to join the Dark Order every single day, and it's kind of awkward. And now I see you in the hallways by yourself getting dressed for matches. And I got a lot of space in my locker room, and I'm just letting you know, you're welcome to dress in my locker room at any time. So I'm very intrigued by where this is going. I really am. And, you know, now he's got Matt Hardy wanting him, and the Dark Order wants him. There's a good storyline with Hangman Page. And at the end of the day, he will be the world champion. We all know that, I think. So, intriguing storyline. We'll have to see what happens next with Hangman. Then we get to the match of the night. And this match was excellent, folks. Dax Harwood versus Jungle Boy, with Tully Blanchard tied up to Tully Blanchard and Cash Wheeler were handcuffed to Luchasaurus, and they couldn't go anywhere during the match. This match was excellent. It brought the best out of Jungle Boy. You know, FTR, we all know they're a great tag team. I think we all know that. We're stupid if we don't know that. But I think we do. They are a great tag team. They are a top 3 tag team in the world and a top tag team in AEW. But we don't talk about how good they are individually. Dax Harwood is an excellent professional wrestler. And he really did bring the best out of Jungle Boy. There's been a lot of good Jungle Boy matches that I can remember in AEW. My favorite match with him being that match at Double or Nothing against MJF. I think this was better. I'm going to be straight up with you guys. I think this was the best Jungle Boy match in AEW so far. Tag team, singles. This was his best match in AEW. Back and forth stuff throughout the match. And the match proved another thing too. You know, the match was not high-flying flips, Canadian destroyers and all that. This was ground and pound, mat wrestling at its finest. And it proves to you that you don't need to do high-flying moves to put on a great match. You can tell a story, and you can have a hard-hitting match. And you know what? I like it that way better than a high-flying match that, you know, is going to give a wow out of the crowd and they're going to go crazy. Technically, I like this better. That's just my point of view with it. But this was an excellent match. Back and forth they go. Dax Harwood, suplex off the top rope to Jungle Boy. Big landing by Jungle Boy on his shoulder. FTR trying to get involved with Cash Wheel and Totally Luchasaurus pulling them back with the handcuffs. And then we got a beautiful series of roll-ups at the end between Jungle Boy and Dax Harwood. And then at the end, Jungle Boy puts Harwood in, looks like to be an STF, and he tapped him out. So Jungle Boy tapped him out. Totally and Cash were trying to get involved, but Luchasaurus yanked them back so they wouldn't get in the ring and help Dax. It was excellent. This was an excellent match. And may I tell you, Jungle Boy's new theme song is over already. Tarzan Boy. The wrestlers are singing that theme song mid-match to hype up Jungle Boy. I think that it's Jungle Boy's new theme song. I think that should be the Jurassic Express theme song. They would be, I mean, they're over right now, but, you know, they would be so much more over if they had that as their theme song. And, you know, Judas has has competition now. Judas is the most over theme song in professional wrestling. But once we get full crowds back, do you not think that the people are going to be singing Jungle Boy's theme song when he comes out to the ring and when they're wrestling matches? They're going to be singing it all the time, and it's going to be super over. So, I love the new theme song. Match was excellent. Jungle Boy got the win, but we're not done there. After the match, Tully dumps, it seems to be a box of powder, over Luchasaurus. So he dumps powder over Luchasaurus. They attack Luchasaurus. They attack Jungle Boy. Tully hits a brainbuster, a brainbuster on Luchasaurus with Cash and Dax holding Luchasaurus. Tully puts the feet down, and then they handcuff Luchasaurus, and they have a pair of scissors, and they cut the horns off of Luchasaurus' mask. And then Marco Stunt comes out with a steel chair, chases out FTR, and Marco Stunt gets held back by SCU. So I love this. Clearly, the feud is continuing. It's going to continue into Revolution, if I had to guess. And it'll probably be Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus against FTR. That should be an excellent match. This was the best thing on the show tonight. Excellent match so far. Probably an early TV match of the year, Kennedy. I know it's early. It's only January. We got 11 months to go in the new year. But this match absolutely killed it. And kudos to both Jungle Boy and Dax Harwood, because Meltzer tweeted out earlier, well, I think it was Monday, that he heard that people in AEW are very excited for people to watch Jungle Boy and Dax Harwood on television. And they weren't wrong. Excellent stuff there. Kudos to Jungle Boy and Dax Harwood. Britt Baker versus Shauna. This was the next match. This was decent. Britt Baker put on a very good showing in this match. Shauna kicked out of her swinging neck breaker. She then put the glove on. Shauna rolled her up. She kicked out at 2. Britt Baker reversed it into the lockjaw, and she tapped out Shauna. After the match, she continues to attack Shauna, stomps her face into the mat, puts her in the lockjaw. Thunder Rosa comes out. Britt Baker and Rebel, they run away, and that's that. Pretty simple. The match was decent overall, nothing overwhelming. This was basically a warm-up match for Britt Baker before she faces Thunder Rosa next week at Beach Break. So that's that. Should be a very good match. I'm excited for it. And we'll see who wins. Because I don't know who's going to win, to be honest with you. Thunder Rosa could win, or Britt Baker could win. We'll see. But next week, Beach Break, we got the 6-man main event. Good Brothers and Kenny Omega against Jon Moxley, Pac, and Rey Fenix. Should be an amazing 6-man tag. We got Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker. We got the wedding between Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford, which I'm pretty sure Orange Cassidy's going to ruin the wedding. I think that's pretty predictable. And then we're getting the Tag Team Battle Royal. If I could remember all the tag teams in it, we got FTR, Jurassic Express, Private Party, Top Flight, The Acclaimed, Chris Jericho and MJF, Sammy Hager, Santana and Ortiz, Private Party. I think I said them already. Uno and Grayson of Dark Order. I think Butcher and Blade are in there. And the Young Bucks. Now, what's interesting about the Young Bucks winning is if they win the Battle Royal, they get to pick their opponents at Revolution. Now, before that, I was going to tell you guys tonight, straight up, I think Private Party is going to win the Battle Royal because they talked about it on Impact Wrestling last night. They teased it on BTE. They just turned heel. It would be a perfect match for Revolution. But now with the Young Bucks in the Battle Royal, they're going to win the Battle Royal. And we're going to get the match. Because the Good Brothers, they're not in the Battle Royal. They're wrestling in a 6-man tag next week. So people were like, well, how are we going to get the Young Bucks versus the Good Brothers? And last week I was like, we're not getting it now. Seems like we're not going to get it. But we are going to get it because the Young Bucks, and remember this when I come back next week, the Young Bucks are going to win the Battle Royal. They're going to pick their opponents, and they're going to pick the Good Brothers. So it seems like that's the way we are going to get the Young Bucks versus the Good Brothers at Revolution. And speaking of them, main event, final thing, and then we're going to get out of here. Young Bucks team up with the Good Brothers to face Dark Order's Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, John Silver, Alex Reynolds. Match only got about 13 minutes, but for the 13 minutes it was great. I'm going to be straight up. This was a great 8-man tag. Not too chaotic, fun, never boring, and it was one of the better 8-man tags AEW had in a while. Another problem with last week's show was we had so many multi-man tags. We had the Inner Circle Tag Team Challenge. We had about 3 6-man tags, and it's just like, it's too much. It's too much with these 6-man and 8-man tags. But this match was fun. This match tonight was fun. I thought the Dark Order was going to get the win because Young Bucks and Good Brothers were going to have problems. But I was wrong. The Young Bucks and the Good Brothers got the win after the Young Bucks hit the Meltzer driver on Stu Grayson for the win. So if you guys did not check this match out, I would highly recommend checking it out. So Young Bucks, Good Brothers get the win. Young Bucks got on the microphone. Matt Jackson says next week there's a tag team battle royal to crown #1 contenders for the tag team titles. But if we win, we can literally pick anybody to face at Revolution. And they looked right at the Good Brothers. And then they held up Too Sweet at the end. But that's not it. Because Rey Fenix comes out. He gives the Young Bucks a double drop kick. Then the Good Brothers attack him. Moxley comes out to help Rey Fenix. Omega comes out at the end and gets hit with a paradigm shift. Rey Fenix, like a crazy cat that he is, does a dive onto Luke Gallows on the outside, Doc Gallows, and that's the end of the show. No Pac at the end of the show. I don't know why, but I think he'll be there next week. So, they got you excited for Beach Break. 6-man tags is going to be amazing next week. And overall, like I said in the beginning, this was such a better show than last week's disappointment. Tonight was a great show overall. And ladies and gentlemen, that is your review for AEW Dynamite tonight. Very detailed, a lot of details, very analytical, and we critiqued the show tonight the best way that we could. And I hope you guys really enjoyed the review tonight. But I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you have not already, subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 340. Pretty soon, we're just 3 subs away. Comment down below what you guys thought. Excuse me. Comment down below what you thought of AEW Dynamite tonight. Hit that like button if you like what you heard from me in the video. And follow me on Twitter at Kylan_Joseph. And tomorrow we got Royal Rumble preview and predictions with TM161. It should be up, I'm going to say, around 8 o'clock tomorrow night. So mark that down in your calendars. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, Royal Rumble preview and predictions on the Big Fight Fuel channel with Joseph Conlon and TM161. It is going to be epic. So I'm getting out of here. You guys have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, be classy.